Good morning. Today is Thursday, September 7th, 2023. Welcome to session 28 of my $1 million journey. My name is Edward James Carey. Welcome to Praxis Living, where I create content to help you create the life that you desire. If you recall, yesterday was earnings day for the company of C3.ai, which I've been trading shares in exclusively since I began trading in about June. Well, I'm not exactly positive on whether earnings were good or bad. I think that according to history, earnings were okay, that AI is on target, considering previous earnings, but the company itself seems to have changed direction. From what I understand, they had a target to be a profitable company by April 2024. The company has now announced that they are scrapping that plan in order to continue reinvesting in their own growth. Now, I personally don't like the sound of that because anytime a company talks about personally investing in their own growth, that's fine, but that can include things like company sell-offs, company mergers. I mean, if Apple wants to talk about investing in their own growth, that's a good thing because Apple has proven over the last 50 to 60 years that when they say they're going to improve in themselves, that's what they mean. Well, let's just hope that C3.ai intends to follow the path of Apple because, like I said, reinvesting in yourself can mean selling out. And considering how new a company C3.ai is, I have to accept the possibility that that could be part of the plan. I hope that it's not, and I'm not suggesting that it is. I'm just pointing out that it can include that kind of thing. Now, with all this being said, what is today going to be like? Well, let's have a look at the pre-market here. I had to basically adjust my screen this morning and hyper-focus the squeezing because last night, after market, and in this morning's pre-market, share values are down. Well, actually, they're coming back up now, but currently sitting at $27.42 from yesterday's close of $31.46. Let's just say I'm glad that I made the decision not to put my last capital into shares of AI and hold them overnight. I can see clearly that that would have not just simply tied my hands, but taken me completely out of trading for the foreseeable future. So I don't know, looking at this pre-market value, I don't know whether this is going to make my current plan of action easier or more challenging. As you know, I am dollar cost averaging my way out of positions just in case something like this was to happen, actually. So I was already on the path to start reshifting my capital out of shares that I paid something like $41 for and putting it back in at values like this, $27.50. I do need to proceed with caution today. I do have $1,000 of capital to play with, but in light of the announcements with earnings, I don't know whether there is going to be a massive crash. This is a crash. Let's get this clear. This is a crash. We're already down 12.75% overnight, but I don't know if the crash is finished. Okay. Currently, 27.45 is a new low. Let's go back here and see. I have to reset the view. Okay, it hasn't been as low as 27.45, and it was even down here at 20.27. Hasn't been this low since May. And May was about the time that shares of AI just started becoming popular in trading. It was even lower in May, down as low as $17.20 in May. So I need to embrace for the possibility that share values of AI could return to these lows, or even these lows back here of $10.63 in December 2022. I do not know whether share values are going to tank all the way down back to where they began, but I do need to be cautious and I do need to be prepared for that, because it really doesn't matter where the share values end up as long as I have capital to trade with. As long as I have trade capital and I can continue to dollar cost average my way out of positions, all is good. But if for some reason I get my remaining capital stuck in a downward trending market, if I buy shares at $27.60 and they plummet down to $17 or even lower, then that really puts me in a bad spot. Okay, so markets have opened. Let's see what happens at the beginning of the day. We started off with a little bit of a decline, but I don't know if that decline is going to continue or not. And I do want to try to capitalize on this opportunity. Okay, the market is currently divided between sellers and buyers, and I can see that represented by these wicks here. I think I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to purchase 15 shares at the open. We'll see where this day goes. All right, I want to get a little bit of activity in here because I don't know where things are going. Okay, $27.63 for 15 shares. That's just a calculated risk. We'll see what happens. I may have bought in too early. I may not have. It depends on whether there's going to be a rally up or not. Now, I see that the double direction market, the buying and selling, has seemed to have slowed down, and now we were getting more of a steady sell-off occurring. So what am I going to do with these 15 shares at $27.63? I think I'm going to try to see if there's a rally up where I can just make a profit on these 15 shares and get right back out. Just to add a little bit of capital. We're talking about a few dollars of capital. I don't know if I want to hold this position all day long. All right, so I can see that the sellers are currently winning. So I put the 15 shares that I just purchased on sale for over 2.5% profit, just in case the market rebounds and starts launching back up. In the meantime, it's clear that the markets are going to continue to decline for a little while, at least this morning. So I'm going to take a short break and I'm going to just relax and let the market sort itself out. I do have a little bit of capital remaining in order to make another attempt today to try to look for a profitable trade, but I do need to wait at this point until the market has done what it wants to do for maybe the first half an hour to an hour, and then I can reassess to see if I can catch the actual low point of the day, if there is going to be a low point. It may just be a day where shares continue to crash all day long. I don't know. Currently down over 16% from yesterday's close, and this is not a good day to be holding on to shares of AI. I can tell you that, at least not at the levels that I purchased it at. But I am determined to figure out a way to use this day to my advantage somehow. I don't know how, but I will figure it out. Stay tuned, I'll be back soon. All right, I am back. It is 7:08 a.m. Let's take a look at things and let me explain a couple updates that have occurred. Again, I bought too early with my first round of shares at $27.63. Things kept going down all the way down to as low as $25.55. Then it started correcting up. And so what I did was I purchased another 15 shares to take advantage of a lower cost at $26.31. That's $1.30 per share lower than the first 15 that I bought. And I got that price within 10 to 15 minutes after making that first purchase. So what I've done now is I've done two things. I've taken the dollar cost average of all 30 shares that I've purchased this morning, and I've indicated that with a red line here of $26.97. That's the minimum share value that I need in order to break even on all 30 shares. That's the first thing. Now, if share values continue to climb that high from where they are, then I'm also taking a calculated risk that this line up here, $27.43, that represents a dollar cost average of all 30 shares that I purchased this morning, plus one share that I paid $41.16 for. I don't even remember how long ago, back in the beginning of August. I'm immediately going to target shares of $41.16. I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity that I can in order to dollar cost average as many shares as I can at a time. Out of that position, I have 250 shares sitting that I paid $41.16 for. I'm going to start targeting those right away and start transferring them out of the market, try to get that premium capital back down into today's value, and just move forward with that plan. So I'm going to let these two orders sit. Well, I don't have sell limit orders on these. I just have the lines represented on the graph. I'm going to keep an eye on things throughout the morning here as I just enjoy my morning. And when I see values rise back up to these levels, I will come back and I will manually close either of those two positions. But until then, I will continue to watch things. I have depleted just about all of my capital. Because share values are so low, I actually have around $130 left of capital. That's maybe enough to buy 4 or 5 more shares, but that's not really going to do much for me other than allow me to make pennies on single share trades, which I don't want to resort to at this point. So I'm just going to monitor closely and enjoy my morning around the house here. I will see you soon, and we will see how this day plays out. All right, I am back. What a morning. It is 7:26 a.m. and I am back already. Let's have a look and I'll share what has been going on behind the scenes. Look at the volume today. First of all, 11 million shares, and we're not even 1 hour into the market. This confirms my suspicion that earnings has a great deal to do with raising awareness and activity and amount of volatility around a company. 11 million shares, we haven't even been doing that for an entire day the past few weeks. Look at the volumes in the past few days. They've been relatively stronger in the mornings, but then the whole day we don't even see 11 million shares. Let's get back to the matter at hand and what I've done. There's so much rapid movement going on today that what I did was I put a 1.5% line on the 15 shares that I purchased at $26.31. That's represented here. We shot past that line, and then we proceeded to go past the second line, which was the dollar cost average of all 30 shares that I purchased in the market at $26.97. And then I was holding out, waiting for share values to creep up to just about where they are right now, $27.43. But when I saw this decline coming in here, I chickened out. And instead of waiting, I sold my 30 shares above my dollar cost average. And so I think I made $3 and something cents in profit. But the story doesn't stop there, okay? Because I saw what was going on, what has happened is I've dollar cost averaged my way out of all 30 shares. And the first position that I bought this morning, 15 shares at $27.63, well, I saw an opportunity to basically just shift my money and pretend that I'm starting over. So what I did was I purchased 15 new shares, and I got those at a lower cost than $27.63. I actually got them at $27.34. So my new purchase value is $27.34. All right, so a lot of stuff going on, and I'm just gonna take off these original 30 shares as if they never happened. I made a slight profit on both of those, but I'm in the market again, almost like, let's just pretend this is my first purchase in today's market. 15 shares at $27.34. So now that I've explained all that, I'm going to erase all these targets because they no longer apply. And I'm gonna go back to my original plan. All right, so I'm gonna take the $410.08 that I just invested in 15 shares. I'm gonna add one share that cost me $41.16. That comes out to a dollar cost average of $28.21 to round up. $28.21. But I don't want to stop there. I'm going to go $28.21. I'm going to multiply that by 1.5%. $28.64. Okay, so now I have a new target. All right, so I'm going a little bit crazy this morning. I want to see if I can not just make a profit on the 15 shares that I'm now in the market for. I also have the other half of my capital, by the way, in reserve in case I see this going on. If I see a market reversal like this and it continues to drop, well, that's fine, but I'm going to wait until I see this value drop either below this point here or this point here before I repurchase another 15 shares. In the meantime, I'm in a holding pattern and I'm just waiting on the activity of the market. So that's a lot to catch you up on, I know, but I want to keep you updated with my moves, even if I'm not making them live on camera. So in summary, what I've done is I've corrected the mistake I made this morning of purchasing in too quick by dollar cost averaging out as soon as possible. Then I calculated risk and I reinvested 15 shares, which I wanted to do in the first place anyway, but I wanted a better cost than what I originally got. And I got that. I got it by a little bit, and my cost on those 15 shares is now $27.34 instead of $27.63. Now I have time on my side and I have patience at my disposal. I will wait. You know what? I'm just gonna go out and enjoy my morning walk, and I'm gonna come back in an hour or so and see where things are at. Then I still have a significant amount of capital at my disposal. I have $575.29 to do what I want later in the day. I also have set a sell limit order in case shares should climb past $28.64 while I'm away. And if they do, if they pass $28.64, they're gonna go higher. But I'm not concerned about that today. I just will be happy with a win at recovering one of my shares, the first share at $41.16 out of that lot of 250. But not will I only get that share back, I will have made a 1.5% profit on the entire dollar cost average trade. I'm good with that as a beginning step. I am going to now go enjoy my morning. I will be back later in the day and we will see how things play out. Stay tuned. All right, everyone, welcome back. It is 9:42 a.m. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Okay, there is some stuff going on. I see that in my absence, shares pushed up to this line right here, 28.21, and did not quite pass it. Now, what that line there was, that additional line that I put at 28.21, that was the dollar cost average of the 15 shares that I purchased this morning at 27.34 plus one share at 41.16, just dollar cost average at no profit. That's what that line was. That was basically my minimum sell point of just getting out of the position. But it didn't go past that, and then the market continued to decline throughout the morning till just recently, right around 9 a.m., and again is on a current upward trend. So I'm going to change things up a bit now that I'm back home. All right, so for starters, my buy-in point was $27.34. So to make 1.5% just on that trade all by itself, that's represented by this line here, $27.75. If I just sit and hold and just sell my position at $27.75, I actually can make a 1.5% profit just on this lot of 15 shares. So that's option one. I can do that. I do see the market is currently on an upward trend though. Let's check the volume. Look at the volume. 19.8 million shares have moved through AI so far at 9:45 a.m. That's 3.25 hours. That's half the day. And we're at just under 20 million shares. That's a good day compared to what I've been seeing lately. So it looks like the volume may be present to support some activity on the share value, which I can see demonstrated in the market. We had a high point of 28.19. We swung down to a low point of around 26.60. And now we're kind of somewhere in between those. I'm going to switch things up, and I'm going to take a calculated risk that I normally would not take. And the main reason is because it is 9:45 a.m. We are through this first hour. This is where heavy players, institutions, and all that just kind of mess around with the share value, try to shake people like me who are retailers out of profitable trades. But now that we're at where we are at in the day, 9:45, I'm going to add 18 shares. Boom, without even looking. Okay, I now picked up 18 shares at 27.51. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the market position that I just purchased at 18 shares. I'm going to add it to the market position that I purchased this morning of 15 shares. I'm going to add it together. I'm going to divide it by 33 shares, which is the total amount that I have now in the market. I'm going to dollar cost average that out to see what my minimum sell order is, just to break even on that. And I'm going to set a line at 1.5% profit on the trade as well. Okay, so I have the two figures here represented. I have a total dollar cost average to break even on 33 shares, and that is represented by this bottom line here of $27.44. As you can see, currently the market value is actually above that line. So far so good. But I'm going to see if I can make a 1.5% gain on the capital that I have deployed now, which is almost $1,000, by the way. And instead of worrying about all of my other shares that are being held in the market right now, I am going to focus on simply making a minimum of 1.5% profit on this trade today. And I'm going to see if I can add a few dollars to my account balance. So with that, it is still early in the day. It is 10 minutes to 10. I haven't put an automatic sell limit at that 27.87. I'm just going to keep monitoring the market periodically throughout the day to see where share values are at. I have a feeling it'll go above that line, and so I don't want to automatically sell it. I want to get a minimum of 1.5% on my trade, but I want to hang around and see if I can get even more. So that's the reason that I don't have a sell limit on the order. I don't want it to sell too soon. On the other hand, if the market goes down, there's little I can do. I have made my decision, calculated my risk, and I have put in all of my capital again. And I am banking on simply making a profitable trade before the end of this day. Stay tuned. I will be back soon in order to see how things go. Okay, I am back. It is 12:06 p.m. Let's have a look at what's going on. All right, let me get this out of the way here. We have another one of those days where shares of AI have continued to basically reach a certain zone and then just ping pong up and down around that zone. I almost got that zone nailed today though, I see. We have lows of around 27.30 and we have high point earlier in the day of 27.83. Wow, that just came shy of the amount that I wish to sell this order at. And we have not crossed that line. Now, it is 12:07 p.m. We still have 53 minutes in the day. Share values are currently playing around $27.71 per share. For me to earn 1.5%, I need $27.87. For me to break even on my trade, I need $27.44, which I am well over at this point. But I'm going to take a chance based on what I saw yesterday. Yesterday, I chickened out and I sold out my position around this time or earlier in the day than I anticipated. And then there was a late afternoon rally to push it up like a significant amount higher. And I am going to desire, that's a good word, I am going to desire for a similar pattern of behavior to happen today. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait out my trade. I'm not going to sell it yet, even though I could make a reasonable profit doing so right now. So I will be here on camera watching and waiting during this last 51 minutes, starting now. All right, so I saw this massive green spike of volume come in, and I sat here watching it, trying to push share values up to my sell limit of 27.86. And I saw this resistance applied against it, and I said, nope, I'm letting go of my position, which I just did. Now, what I want to tell you is two things. I forgot to mention earlier that after I purchased my shares of 18 shares of 27.51, I actually noticed I had enough money left in my trade to add 2 more shares, so I did that. I just bought 2 more shares at 27.38. Now, I just sold, so if you add that total up, that's 35 shares. What I just did though, is I sold 37 shares, and there's a reason for this. I sold 37 shares at $27.76, which is 4 cents higher than my break-even point when I take these 35 shares and then these 2 shares, these single shares here that I noticed for $32.74 and $32.75, I just sold those in a dollar cost average play. I came out even 2 or 3 cents higher than my break-even point on all of them, and I recovered extra capital in the process. So instead of just taking a straight profit on my trade, I actually took 2 shares back out of the market to give myself extra capital in the same transaction. It's a step in the right direction, and I'm happy with it. That's all that I'm going to do today. I am going to let these markets play out their final 20 minutes. I'm not going to worry about what's going on. So I want to thank you for hanging out. If you are liking my videos, if you have subscribed to the channel to follow along on this journey, I really appreciate that. That's all for today. I am going to call it quits, and I'm going to take my win today, and I'm going to just relax and enjoy my afternoon. I will be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you with me. If you wish to follow along with me in that session, you can do so right over here.